Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Year of the Dead. Now, this is going to be our Halloween special because it just so happened to come out during October. And the movie we did was Return of the Living Dead 3. So,
not in 3D.
Not in 3D.
Missed opportunity.
In 90s wasn't a good time for that.
Yeah.
What's your initial thoughts?
I know I say this a lot, and it's repetitive, but is it like a phenomenal movie? No. But is it like a horrible movie? No. It's fun. If you're like casually into zombie movies, this might still be one you'd watch. But it's not necessarily like, if you're like very just casual into like horror and you like zombie movies, you're not going to watch this. But overall, I mean, you can tell the budget's small. And there's a lot of issues with it, like the continuity between the other ones. We're not sure if it's there, if it's not there.
Yeah.
Like what we don't, because stuff that should happen doesn't happen. But it was good, especially with like practical effects wise. It was good.
Oh yeah, that was actually probably the highlight.
And you brought this up. It's kind of like got a body horror feel in some aspects to it.
Yes, it's directed by Brian Usna, who is the guy who produced all the Re-Animator movies, and he also made that movie Society, which is to me is the best example of a body horror movie.
It got weird at the end. I was actually thinking of that movie. I couldn't remember the name while we were watching this.
Yeah, it makes you think.
That movie made me uncomfortable. I remember.
So it's that guy, and it makes sense why it's there. So I would say, because kind of what you were getting at is, it was like, even if you're not like a big like I gotta watch all the Return of the Living Dead, there is something there for you.
Yeah, I think it's a movie I could see popping up on the Sci-Fi. Is that still a channel?
I think it is.
I actually don't know.
Syfy, like SYFY.
They did that like 15 years ago.
Oh,
I feel like. But yeah, like the Sci-Fi channel, it's one of those that you might be like, oh, it's 2 a.m. I wonder what's on.
Return of the Living Dead 3. All right.
I like zombies.
To change the channel.
Like I like zombies. There we go. It's kind of feels like that. Because trust me, as I've said numerous times during these, there's a lot worse zombie movies.
Yes, and
we will eventually we probably will get into those.
If we get a season 2,
we have watched so. If we get renewed for a season 2,
yeah, this isn't a bad zombie movie, and there actually is a lot of good things for it.
I would say it's a higher middle of the road.
Yeah. And one of the things I think is really good for it is what we were kind of getting at is that it really does something way different than not only all the other Return of the Living Dead, but really any of the zombie movies we've seen so far. There's not many zombie movies like it because it is kind of a romance movie in a way.
That's kind of like the main.
And the whole driving point is just like
he cares about his girlfriend.
The love between the two of them, because it goes both ways. And we always go both ways on MrMayhemMovies. So, what we were getting at...
Quote it.
So, what we were getting at, though, is that it does something different. Now, because it does something different, the continuity with the previous film doesn't entirely line up.
Yeah, there's like... And you pointed this out, like... She gets it, like, what was it? She did... I don't...
So, what happens is...
She did.
The main guy's dad works in the government, and he's in charge of the whole program with, like, trying to use the zombies
trioxin containers.
Yeah, they're trying to use them to make like
bioweapons
of some sort.
Yeah, some type of
and when what happens is they learn about this stuff, and then there's a car accident where his girlfriend dies, who already is kind of like a I love pain kind of deal.
Yeah, which is a little weird.
And so in order to bring her back, he like gets the trioxin and
I just want to talk about this first. Like, just because his dad works at this top secret base, he's able just to like head on in there.
Yeah.
There's like nothing that stops him, and he brings his girlfriend. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna just say he gets in there, but he's just like shows up to the gate with his girlfriend on the back, like my dad's the boss.
Yeah.
And they just let him in there.
He steals his dad's ID card to get in. But, like, that's, like, to operate all the different doors to get through. To actually get through, like, it's literally a military police guy who says, like, oh, you can come on through. And, like, even if he shows the ID card, like, he's still a teenage kid who clearly doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
So they must be just allowed to let him in.
There's, like, a comment at the very beginning. They're like, well, it seems like the security's really laxed here. He's like, oh, budget cuts from Congress, and I think they say that to
Just to get
justify why this kid multiple times.
There's not many security guards you see.
And like, there's like a point where his like after his girlfriend's dead, he's hauling a corpse on his back through there. It's like, okay,
yeah, it's fine.
There's no like surveillance.
No, not at
but
all.
later,
there is cameras. But I guess no one's monitoring the cameras when it matters. Anyways, to get her back, he like puts on a mask so he doesn't breathe in, but they put like some of the smoke or whatever from the canisters on her. Now she was dead. If you're dead,
by the logic of the last few movies,
if you're dead, you come back as just this mindless zombie. But she kind of came back similar to
if you were alive and exposed. So maybe she wasn't actually fully dead.
So maybe she wasn't.
Maybe there's still a pulse.
But
we gotta.
She did smash her head into that.
Because she was on the back of a motorcycle. They hit something, and she got catapulted head first into a pole. He was fine. He just kind of like
he just
slid out like he was fine. Which you would think he'd probably got ejected too. But oh well. But
yeah. So maybe she was alive. We're looking too far into it. This is not a movie that's supposed to do that.
Sean was complaining about that the whole time.
And yeah, so like they did make a reference to Night of the Living Dead about when the zombies first started, but there's no reference to the other ones, and it doesn't need to. It's its own thing, and I think it works really, on its own.
It just seems like none of them really talk about the previous ones.
No.
Even the second one.
As we get to 4 and 5 too, I told you, we won't mention it now, but it also does not have continuity.
Because like the second one I remember... Like, but outside of the whole, like, I feel like we've been here before. Me, you, them. That was, like, the biggest, I think, nod.
The general, and that's it.
It was just the people, and they make that one little comment. So in this one, it really doesn't.
Yeah, but, it does continue the theme of the government being inept. And so, I think that is relevant.
Back in the day, they really liked those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for movies. And now I feel like if these were happening, it would just be Return of the Living Dead. The next one, Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, or they would put it as a subtitle to make it seem like something different.
That's why
which is probably what they would do nowadays, because this was something different.
Because the next two do have subtitles, so... But it did feel very 90s and how it was set up. But
93,
very
if I didn't mention.
Early 90s. Like, not Resident Evil later 90s yet, but early 90s, which I find interesting.
So, we won't go in depth with the plot, but pretty much it's like she slowly starts to become a zombie, crave brains, but she's trying to fight the urge, and she also in order to stave off this hunger, if she hurts her body, so she does all these body piercings with random objects,
glass and stuff.
Yeah, it looks really cool if you've seen a poster of it.
What is that type of horror movie called where it's not body horror, but where they do a lot of the
I think it's Strangeland.
Yeah, Strangeland, Hellraiser's kind of one of those too. It kind of felt like that.
Sadomasochism.
Yeah, that kind of. I know there is a term for it, but yeah.
But they actually the two leads. It actually it's a very great performances. Very believable that they just are in this doomed romance, but they clearly still love each other, and go through so much to try to do whatever they can for each other. But then just a bunch of random stuff happens. There's these Mexicans that really hate them randomly.
Yeah, and it's
they go above and beyond to try to track them down and kill them.
I do think it's probably a little racist.
It's a little,
because every other word is a Spanish word.
Yeah.
So they really want to highlight they're Hispanic. And there's a point where it's they just rob the store they're in for kind of no reason.
Yeah.
They're already in there playing a game, and then they go in there, argue with the guy and the girl bites one of them, and then after he bites one of them, I think it's before, they start actually robbing the store, and it was just kind of couldn't that just been couldn't you just made a group of maybe a few white people, maybe a black guy, make it how they do it where they try to make it as diverse, so it's not we're not saying one group or another.
Yeah, now it's kind of offensive.
I don't think they're actually thinking about that back in the early 90s.
Not 93.
But
yeah, so and it actually has a very good ending that kind of calls back to the first movie a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's very clear the budget was small. The sets were very small. There's not as many actors. However, there's also not a hordes of zombies like there have been in the past. But the zombies we see look really good. That's where the money went.
The practical
was all to the practical
really
effects of the kills.
I would have to say I like
the zombies.
It probably was the guy from Was it? What did you say? He directed it.
He produced Re-Animator movies.
Yeah, like that was probably him pushing for that more.
And
even though like that CGI wasn't really there at that time anyway.
No, I wouldn't.
But
I think the effects are better than what we saw in part 2.
Yeah, I
think it was more varied. It was more gnarly.
More varied zombies.
Lots of blood everywhere.
Yeah.
So overall, I would recommend this movie because it does something entirely different than anything else we reviewed this year.
And we went into this one. We only watched this one like one time. So this is our second time, probably in 10, 15 years.
It was
at least 10 years.
Gory and bloody.
It's probably been a
intense.
decade at minimum since we last saw this one. The other ones before this we saw multiple times. So I was kind of going into this with very little that I remembered from it. So
it was a good one though.
I liked it.
What would you say your favorite kill was? Either someone killing a zombie or a zombie killing someone?
You might agree with this, but at least it's up there for you. The guy, he gets his head kind of ripped off, but the spine's still going up, so he dies. But then when he reanimates, his head's like sticking up here because of his spinal cord, which I don't know how that would work with a spinal cord, because it's not like it's like one of those like things that you pull out. And
like that's his entire spinal cord.
Because like if it's this much sticking out, that means like this much of it has to be gone. Don't think about that.
Yeah,
but
it looked cool.
It looked really cool. It looked like. It really looked like one of the scenes from The Thing.
My favorite had nothing to do with zombies.
Oh, yeah.
It was so after those Hispanic people shoot the guy who was running the store after robbing them. The main guy and girl, they like take the
shop owner.
They had a shop owner says, "Hey, can you guys take me to the hospital? It's 2 blocks away." So they hop in the car, but then the cops show up, and the cops think they're robbing the place. So they immediately, cops assume we need to start shooting at these guys. So they're in a high-speed chase.
Oh, policing in the 90s was awesome.
They're in a high-speed chase.
Can't do that now.
And the shop owner's like, "Okay, I want out. Can you guys let me on?" They're like, "No, we can't stop." So he opens up the back door and says, "Don't shoot, help me." Cops shoot him in the head. Brain goes flying everywhere. He literally dies and had nothing to do with the zombies whatsoever.
And he reanimates and you can see the back of his head's like blowing out. It's actually it's a cool effect too.
See, and because since there's not that many zombies in it, the zombies we see, they actually put the effort in making. Like, there's a Tarman-esque zombie, because he's just cut. He doesn't look like a Tarman.
And there's a few of them.
But he comes out of the
trioxin containers.
And they look
Did they call it trioxin in the other ones?
It definitely said it on the containers.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. So it's the exact same one, 2,4,5 trioxin. So it has no reason for it not to follow the rules of the first 2 movies.
I'm just going to assume she wasn't quite dead.
That's what we have to go with.
Even though she brained herself on a pole going like 50 miles an hour or more.
But it's okay. So overall,
and she just had obviously a broken neck and like a slightly bloody nose, and it's like
she honestly looks.
I've seen bad accidents where they hit their heads, and that's not what it looks like.
But yeah, the movie looked really good. And some of the performances were great. It didn't have like a great plot because it just kind of went from one beat to the next beat kind of randomly.
There's actually a lot of zombie movies. They're usually not good zombie movies that do that.
So
where it's just like, we're here. There's zombies at a house. Then we get attacked. We leave, and now there's zombies on a farm. And then we leave, and there's zombies in the hood. I don't know.
Zombies in the Hood. I think
that needs to be a movie.
If it's not, it needs to be.
Zombies in the Hood.
But anyways, yeah, it does something entirely different than almost any other zombie movie I've ever seen, and that alone, I feel like it's enough to recommend.
It's where I would recommend it. I recommend most movies we watch, even if they're bad.
Well, let's wait until we get to these next 2.
Yeah, I mean, Necropolis, like I've said, it has a...
That's my white whale, but Rave to the Grave...
That was like the thing I bought when Blockbuster was going out, and I could buy like one thing. I'm like... Necropolis. Don't know why.
Return of the Living Dead 4.
I think I liked the cover of it a lot.
It didn't.
So
it stuck with me. All right. Well, that's pretty much all I got to say about this movie. Yeah, it is good. I definitely recommend it.
Worth a watch.
For
as long as you like zombies, I think it's worth a watch. Mm-hmm. Not everything's The Walking Dead, so
yes,
if you like zombies, it's definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, not bad. Send more paramedics.
Okay, Sean, start doing the Halloween theme song.